Hey guys, so I haven't posted in a really long time, and I did have a few videos in the making that I was ready to post, but my computer is really slow, and so long story short, I just got too frustrated with my computer. But anyways, I decided to do a photography video today. I am filming on the camera that I'll be taking pictures with, so just in a few moments I'm going to be switching over to my phone. But this video is basically just going to be talking about how I set up for my self-portraits, how I fix lighting, all that kind of stuff. Any questions I've ever got, I'm going to try and do my best to address in this video. So if you are interested in getting into self-portrait photography yourself, just keep watching and hopefully all the tips I'm giving you will help. By the way, of course, I am not topless. I'm wearing a camisole, but for my camera, I am shooting on the Canon T5i. It's a crop body, and I'm using it with the 50 1.8, the Nifty 50, fantastic plastic, whatever you want to call it. But I guess I like to use myself as like a living example that you don't need expensive equipment to get started with photography or to even create great pictures. My camera itself was, I think, like $800, which is really cheap if you know anything about camera bodies. And the lens that I'm using is the plastic version of Canon's 50mm. It's a prime lens, and that was about $125. So put together, this camera and lens combination was under $1,000. And if you have seen my Instagram, I would like to think that my photos come out pretty good using this combination. So I'll give you a better look in a minute, but the background behind me, I'm just using some seamless paper from Savage. It's just the black seamless roll, and it's 53 inches wide. I was, however, using I think it's like the 36 inch, and I felt like that was too constraining, or in post-processing I would have to clone the edges so that I wasn't getting any excess background. So I moved up to the 53 and paid the extra $15 or so that I could be more comfortable and use more of the frame. However, a couple months ago, I did a series basically around the primary colors, red, yellow, and blue. And I used red and yellow poster board from Michaels, and that is an extremely cheap alternative to getting a backdrop like this. It worked for me. Of course, it is pretty small, so you are confined to how much of the frame you can fill up, but for me, it worked. I had posted the photos that I took from those two shoots in Jessica Whittaker's Build and Bloom Facebook page, which if you don't know what that is, I will link it down below. I love being a part of it. But anyways, I did post those photos in that Facebook page, and it like blew up. Like, I didn't expect that to happen because I was of course proud of them, but I didn't think they were that great. But both of those photos ended up getting like 2,000 likes or so, like give or take. So it just goes to show I was using less than $1,000 worth of equipment with my camera, and I was using a $2 poster board from Michaels. So that is definitely a cheap alternative as opposed to this $41 backdrop.
Okay, so just as a quick overview, excuse the small mess in the background, I just have my camera set up on a tripod like this, and then I have it facing my big backdrop. It's just a basic black backdrop, and it's held by this really cheap set that I got off of Amazon. Like I may have said before, I will link it all in the description, but this is my basic setup.
Okay, so I just showed you my whole setup. Now, as for lighting, I have gotten questions about this. So I'll insert the photos right here, but when I did these kind of monochromatic looks with the red, the yellow, and also the blue, I did have a lot of questions about my lighting. And I'm fortunate enough to have 4 huge window panes right in front of where I typically shoot in my apartment. That let in a lot of light. Of course, because I do work with natural light, that means I have to shoot midday when it is the brightest. And for portrait photography inside, it's okay to shoot midday, at least for me, because I'm not getting harsh sunlight coming into my house. However, if you do shoot in a darkly lit room, I would suggest using soft boxes. A couple years ago, I had got umbrella lights, and they worked for a while. I didn't really have that much of a problem with them. But as I started working with just natural light, and honestly it was just because I was too lazy to set up my umbrella lights, I use them once in a while at night when I want pictures and I hated them. Like, I hated the light. It was cold fluorescent light. I didn't like how it distributed the light on my wall. I just really don't like them at all. So when I shot with Jessica Whitaker last week, she actually used a softbox, and when I saw some of the photos off of her camera, I loved how the lighting looked. It was obviously super soft, diffused. It really lit up the area well. So I am currently saving for those. They are relatively cheap, the ones that she sent me, so I will link those down below. But I'm looking to get those next, just so that I don't always have to shoot midday when the lighting is best. I can shoot at night, I can shoot in the morning. It gives me more freedom, and it also can give me a bit of a different style. Okay, so in a minute I'm going to get to taking pictures, but as for inspiration, I just wanted to touch on that really quick, and if you want, I will go more into depth in that in another video. But for inspiration, I usually just go off of things that I've previously seen, and not in the sense where I'm copying them, but in the sense that I like the mood or the vibe per se that the photo is giving me, and so I'll take that and I'll turn it into something that's my own. So for the shoot that I'm doing today, I'm actually drawing inspiration off of these earrings. I got these from Forever 21, and they're just like these weird outlined face earrings. I don't know, I thought they were really cool, and so I instantly drew inspiration from them. But yeah, you can draw inspiration from jewelry or a place or a person. For me, I really like fashion and editorial photography for self-portraits. So what I'll do is, if I get a new piece of clothing or like a new accessory or something like that, or even maybe it's even a new makeup palette that I want to play around with, I will just base the entire shoot around that one item. So for instance, these earrings right here are the one item that I'm taking inspiration from. Oh, also one more thing, taking self-portraits is extremely hard if you can't see yourself. So my camera has a swing out screen, some flip down, some flip up. I don't really know. I know mine swings out to the side, but if your camera does not have a screen that swings out, what you could do is, I don't know how, you would have to figure this out in your own studio environment, but just basically get a mirror and set it behind and shoot in live view mode. I have done that before. You just get a mirror and set it so that you're able to see it, because otherwise you don't know where in the frame you are, if too far to the left, to the right, if maybe you want to change your face, if the lighting's not good. So me having that swing out viewfinder and shooting in live mode is always how I take my pictures, because it allows me to instantly see if maybe it's overexposed or underexposed, if I'm too far this way or this way. Really helps a lot. So yeah, also if the mirror thing isn't working for you, I believe they do have monitors that you can attach either on top of your camera or to your laptop. I have no idea how much those run, but I do know you could like plug in your camera and then you'll be able to see yourself on your laptop or maybe even your phone. I know that the newer Canons do come with an app on the phone so that you can use your phone to do that. But either way, being able to see yourself in the viewfinder screen is super important for taking pictures. And one more thing, I forgot to mention that to take the picture, I will set my camera in autofocus, and then I will use this wireless remote to make the camera focus, and then it takes the picture, and you just have to go into your camera settings and change it. It's super easy. But now I'm gonna do just a quick time lapse of me taking self-portraits, and then that'll be it for this video. That I have is to play around with props. So as you may have seen, I use this large strip of tinfoil. In the video, or in the time lapse, I was using that to reflect some light back onto my face, but beforehand I was also using it to kind of like peek through this hole and stuff like that. I wrapped it around myself like it was some sort of like jacket or something like that. So I really just took it and I played around with it just to see what I could do with it. So yeah, just use things like this. I mean, this is a prop and it's tinfoil. Everybody has tinfoil in their house. Put this down because it's making a lot of noise. But
Before, I also did use a plastic bag on my lens just to like kind of fade the edges a little bit, give it a cool lens distortion look. So yeah, literally you can use things that you have in your home, anything you have in your home. Everybody has tinfoil, I'm sure everybody has a plastic bag. So really just work with what you have and you can still create awesome images.
Alright, so that is it for this video. I really hope that some of these tips helped you out. I did get a lot of questions about my setup and my lighting, so that's mainly what I focused on in this shoot, but I really wanted to emphasize how much you can do with not a lot of equipment. I'm literally just using a tripod that was probably like $20. Like I said, my camera put together was less than $1,000. This backdrop was $40, and this was, I think, $32. And this was over a lot of time. I've had my camera for a while, I've had my tripod for a while. The only new things that I've really purchased in recent months are this backdrop and the stand to hold it. So once again, really work with what you have. If you have any more questions about portrait photography, please feel free to ask them below. I also will leave my Instagram where you can go and check out some of my work. Feel free to DM me there. So anyways, I hope this was an enjoyable and helpful video. I really just touched upon the things that I get frequently asked. So thank you so much for watching. Sorry I haven't posted in so long. I'm really going to try to get better at that. But anyways, I will see you in my next video, whenever that may be. And thanks for watching.